National Fisherman Live. I'm Leslie Taylor. Here's some recent fishing news from around the coasts. Are wild salmon smarter than hatchery salmon? Turns out the answer is yes. At least they're smarter about picking a mate. KGW.com reports that researchers at Oregon State have found that wild coho salmon are able to select partners to breed with that will give them the most and the healthiest offspring. But hatchery-raised salmon don't have the same ability to pick a compatible mate. A 10-year study found that wild salmon are able to identify mates with disease-resistant genes different from their own, probably by smell, researchers suspect. But hatchery salmon seem to select mates at random. Better understanding of the mate selection process could help hatchery fish breed like their wild counterparts and result in improved survival rates. Senator Mary Landrieu, a Democrat from Louisiana, and David Cresson, executive director of the Coastal Conservation Association of Louisiana, are calling for passage of the Red Snapper Conservation Act, the Advocate newspaper reports. The legislation, which Landrieu introduced in 2013, would transfer the authority to determine season length from the federal government to the states along the Gulf. NOAA fisheries managers announced earlier this month that the recreational snapper season in federal waters will only be 9 days this year, running from June 1st to June 10th. The minimum size limit for red snapper remains at 16 inches with a 2 per angler daily creel limit. Landrieu called the decision to limit the season to 9 days maddening and unthinkable in light of rising stocks of red snapper. The decision will severely hurt Louisiana fishermen and the Gulf economy, she said. Massachusetts will receive $14.5 million in relief for the federal 2012 disaster declaration for the region's ground fishermen, South Coast Today reports. 194 permit holders across Massachusetts will each receive $32,463. Recipients need to have caught 5,000 pounds of groundfish within any of the last 4 years. Since each fisherman will receive the same amount regardless of boat size, the distribution scheme will tend to favor small boats, John Bullard, NOAA's Northeast Regional Administrator, told South Coast Today. In addition, the state will receive more than $8 million in discretionary funds to be allocated based on commercial losses. Jim Kendall of New Bedford Seafood Consulting told South Coast Today that the relief allocation leaves behind the average crewman or deckhand, as well as businesses that support ground fishing that also suffered losses as a result of the disaster. Thanks to warm water temperatures, the Bristol Bay salmon run may be very early this year, seafoodnews.com reports. Packers report that tenders will be on the ground by June 9th, and the peak of the run, the date on which the harvest passes 1 million fish per day, may start between June 22nd and June 29th, according to some observers. According to seafoodnews.com, the 2013 Bristol Bay harvest of around 15.5 million fish accounted for less than 40% of the global sockeye supply, due to increased harvests in Russia as well as other Alaskan fisheries. And in Oregon, the State Police Fish and Wildlife Division has recovered over 150 illegal crab pots from near Cape Falcon, some of which may have been stolen, the Daily Astorian reports. After a mandatory hold inspection in December, Oregon State Police noted the Garibaldi-based fishing vessel Valkyrie deployed commercial crab pots in the Pacific Ocean and did not conduct a landing within 14 days, as required by law. Starting May 6th, Fish and Wildlife troopers and Coast Guard personnel began seizing Valkyrie's commercial crab gear. Several of the seized crab pots contained rotten crab or crab parts, according to the Daily Astorian. Charges are pending against the Valkyrie's owner as well as a previous captain of the vessel. For more commercial fishing news and analysis, subscribe to National Fisherman magazine, visit our website at www.nationalfisherman.com, or subscribe to our twice-weekly e-newsletter. For National Fisherman Live, I'm Leslie Taylor.